This is James from the JVH Show, also known as the Just Another Bloke with a podcast. And this episode today is brought to you by Rick Safety Audits. We are your number one partners in all things residential rental compliance. They offer gas, electrical, and smoke detector safety checks on your residential rental properties. They'll also assist with your minimum standards checks. And if you mention the podcast when you call up to book in your property for its rental check, you'll get 10% off your first audit. G'day everyone, this is James Bennett Hullen for the JBH Show, also known as the Just Another Bloke with a podcast, and I'm really excited today because I have someone that I've followed for a long time on the podcast, Jason Petropoulos, the Argonaut. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I cannot wait.
Thank you for being here, man. So we were talking about colours.
Yeah, we were.
Just before. You're saying how much you dislike Auburn?
Yeah, Auburn and maroon.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what colour Auburn is, but the name sucks. And you know what? Fuck maroon as well.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Just for no reason, I'm just not a big fan of that colour.
Cool. So,
Colour blue, rules.
Yeah, you're a Blue fan.
Blue fan.
Are you a Blues fan? Do you follow the footy?
Yeah, look, I'm meant to go for Kangaroos, but they're pretty terrible.
Oh, they got to win on the weekend.
Yeah. You get one. One's nice.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that song every so often.
Yeah, to hear it in your dreams occasionally. But outside of that, I don't really watch the footy that much. If it's on, I'll watch it, but if it's not on, nah.
Doesn't matter.
More of just like a combat sports watching kind of guy.
And participating kind of guy. So give us a rundown on who you are in the sports world and then also external to that. What do you do with yourself?
So I'm Jason the Argonaut Petropoulos. I do borderline gay porn in a cage for wads of cash. It is absolutely terrific. So I fight other half-naked men in a cage in both professional mixed martial arts. I also do professional jiu-jitsu and combat jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
And I've dabbled a little bit. I've had a kickboxing fight as well that I won, which was nice. I was the Fusion welterweight champion, and I'm getting ready for the number one contendership for their lightweight title coming up this June 20th.
Awesome.
And I set a world record in MMA as the only guy in the history of the world to ever have a win at flyweight and middleweight, where I currently hold wins in 4 different weight classes in MMA.
Okay. So are those weight classes next to each other on the ranking?
Some.
Yeah.
So I fought at the lowest weight class there was, flyweight.
Yeah.
That's 56.8 kilos. So I made that once.
Yeah.
And only once because I almost died making weight, so that sucked.
Yeah. Right.
It really gets you. During the wake-up process, I couldn't walk for a little bit.
Far out.
Yeah, I had to have a sauna spotter, so that was fun.
Yeah.
I was doing that at the old, what is it now, Leisure Link.
Yeah.
So I was there at Leisure Link while people are asking, is he okay? And I was like,
Not
we'll
really.
get there. We'll get there. And I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm weighing in soon. Remember me as a hero.
Yeah, right.
And then I won that fight in 1 minute because it turns out I was 3 weight classes bigger than him on fight night. So,
there you go.
Yeah, weight cutting, hell of a thing. I spent most of my career at bantamweight at 61 kilos, 61.4.
Yep.
I've won at featherweight as well, which is where I now prefer to fight at 66.
Yep.
And most recently, I just won at middleweight, which is 84 kilos.
Awesome.
Which I didn't weigh 84 kilos. I weighed 80, but you know what? Queensland's a hell of a place.
Yeah, right. Okay. So are you just working your way up the rankings? Is there something that's going to continue?
No,
100?
I want to be the only guy in the history. I want to have the most wins in any weight out of any fighter in all weight classes. So,
okay.
Except for light heavyweight and heavyweight because I can't physically make that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be the only guy in the history of the world to ever have a win in 5 different weight classes, and I'm going to do 6.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go all the way through from flyweight and have a win in every division all the way up to middleweight.
Yeah.
So I've already done middleweight, so we got lightweight and welterweight left for MMA.
And do you find the techniques change when you're fighting, depending on your weight size? What's your preferred strategy when you're going into a fight? And have you found that that's changed as you grow in size?
Look,
or is it all the same?
To an extent. I mean, I definitely feel better if I'm in a pure grappling sense. If I'm on the bottom, I definitely feel better when I'm a little bit smaller than opposed to when I'm bigger. But when I'm on top, being bigger is much
Obviously
nicer.
a benefit. Yeah.
And I walk around fairly muscular for vanity reasons because
Yeah.
I like it when my missus eye fucks me when I take my top off. So I wish there was a real reason I could give you as to why that's actually the reason.
You just feel comfortable and you look good.
I really like it when she checks me out and it makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
So it's not for for like any athletic purpose. I wish it was, but it is most certainly not.
Just keeping the home front happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
you got to keep them happy.
Yeah.
One way or another.
100%. 100%. So what made you get into it? Are you a lifelong combat sports fan, or is it something that sort of happened when you were younger? Like what brought you to the sport?
It was, weirdly enough, I used to want to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah, right.
And that was because I had a pretty terrible upbringing, pretty terrible home life. So wrestling was like an escape.
Yeah.
So I used to watch pro wrestling, and then there would be no arguments between my families. They'd leave me alone. And, it was nice. So then I wanted to do that. And I always admired what they did, the athleticism, and I thought all the moves were really cool. So I wanted to be a pro wrestler, and then couldn't find a wrestling place, so that kind of sucked. So there I was, 15 years old, at a crossroads in my life.
Yeah.
What do I do from here? Whatever will I be?
Yeah.
And then I played UFC Undisputed.
Yeah.
I think it was 2009, and that game is fucking sick.
Yeah.
And then playing that, and then it said based on the sport. And I was like, there is no way this is a sport.
This is sick.
So then got on the internet. Back in the day, we had dial-up, so kids these days won't know what that is. But it was a hell of a thing.
Hell of a time.
So, after an hour, I got to watch 4 minutes of a fight, and I was like, holy shit, I'm sold. So then I went and started training jiu-jitsu the very next week, thinking that would also lead me into pro wrestling one day.
Yeah.
Never did. But doing that, I fell in love with it. So I started training jiu-jitsu, and then I just got really good at it. And then I started competing, and I kept winning. And then I was like, I could probably make a career out of this. And then here we are.
Yeah, right. Awesome.
15 years later.
And you own a gym as well?
I do indeed. I own Adept MMA. It's at 68B Tanner Street in Geelong and Breakwater.
Awesome. And so run me through how you obviously wanted to make a career out of the combat sport, and then you wanted to bring people along for the ride through a training gym, or was it more that's just how you make money in the industry? What's the story?
No, for me, I really, really love coaching. So it took away from the competition aspect for me in a way, but I don't view it as a bad thing. So I always want to be in the UFC. That was always the goal. I want to be a pro fighter. I want to live the pro fighter lifestyle. Then after doing it for years, I still enjoy it, and I still enjoy competing, but I just fell in love with teaching. So I started teaching as like a little side job at the very first place I was at. And then when I left, I got sponsored by Peter Davenport at Elite Training Centre.
Yeah.
And part of my sponsorship there was I would have to cover any classes that coaches couldn't teach, in particularly jiu-jitsu, which is where I specialise.
Yeah.
And then when I started teaching there, I loved it. I loved every single second of it. And the thought of creating talent makes me really, really happy. So at the end of the day, fighting is awesome, and I really love fighting. But argument. So I'll give you an example. So when I won my last fight, which is October 19th, right? You're on this high for like a week. You're like, yeah, I'm the best. This is awesome. I shout, I do my carry on, pound my chest.
Yeah.
I'm like a big ape, and you continue on. And you're on high for a week. You're like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And then
And
life
you get
goes
all the
back to normal.
messages, and people are obviously, keen to support you.
Well, it's all the usual things. You win anything, people want to immediately jump on, because it's like the normal thing in life. Like I'm never shocked about it. If you're winning in life, people want to be around you. If you're
100%.
losing in life, people don't.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, right? So then you're on a high for a week. You're like, cool, I'm the man, all this stuff. But then you go back to regular life. And for regular life, for me, might be slightly different to others because I own a gym and whatnot. I'm a full-time PT.
Yep.
But it's still that's normal life for me, right?
Yeah.
Whereas coaching, I always feel that feeling. That feeling of elation. You're giving back to the sport that gave me so much, that saved me, and I just want to give back to that community, give back to what it is, and I absolutely love every single second of it.
Yeah. You say the sport saved you. What do you mean by that?
Well, if I didn't find MMA, I don't know where I'd be. Probably in a gang somewhere or doing something fucked up. Like it happens when at the end of the day, and I understand it more now that I'm older than I did when I was younger, and especially like having a missus who's like did her a degree in psychology. She's a very smart woman, honors. She's got to go back for the masters.
Yeah.
And so she even helped me figure out a lot of things that I didn't even know, which was like, obviously when you come from sort of a traumatic past, it does shape you. And violence to me is kind of like whatever. Like I can fight someone in the same way as I could butter bread. Like it's not a big deal to me.
It's comfortable.
So it's just comfortable, and I don't get that anxiety. I don't get that worry. Like it's so just normal to me.
Yeah.
And so it was having that. Like when I was a kid, I didn't know how to play. I thought fighting your friends was what you did. So I'd like beat these kids up. I'd be like strangling them before I even knew what a guillotine was.
Yeah, right.
But like doing these things, and then like kids would be scared of me, and I never knew why. But like that was like my home life.
Yeah.
So I thought that's how you played. That's what you did. So it all just became very comfortable for me. So because of that, you start to make some wrong decisions. I like to entertain. So I was always really out there. It's why I stopped drinking when I was 23 for those exact reasons, just doing crazy stuff. So fighting really mellowed me and gave me a purpose, and you can really focus your everything you need to do. And so, yeah, I think it saved me, and I absolutely love it. So I want to give back to and have that save people the way it saved me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have turned out the way I was without combat sports, I don't believe.
And is that something that you find when you're teaching people that you're seeking to impart? Are you dealing predominantly with people that are from those sort of backgrounds where they have gone through struggle and they have gone through strife, and you're putting them on a better path?
You deal with all sorts of walks of life as a coach. You'll deal with some people that they think that they're tough because they've been in a few street fights, which at the end of the day, I do have to preface this. If you've had a lot of street fights, you're probably really unlikable, and you're definitely the problem. Like anyone who breaks, I've had 100 street fights. You must be really unlikable.
Yeah, what are you doing to get into those street fights?
Why do so many people want to bash you? That's not a normal thing. Like someone's, oh man, I'm undefeated on the streets. That's like saying I got a Happy Meal toy. Like being undefeated against people who don't know how to fight. One, no one's even keeping a tally of that. It's verifiable.
So
you can just lie.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people that lie about those beyond
and
me.
the people that he beats probably do lie about it. And say, no, I got him real good.
All the people that, you beat in your backyard or something, you're like, yeah, I showed him. You're sick, man.
Yeah, cool. Okay, he was round for dinner. Why are you doing this?
He was over trying to fix my door, and I'm like, that's it. You and me, Chippy.
He was installing solar panels. Why did you do that?
He was my IT guy. I just want to get another win.
Not the IT guy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's IONet. They suck. But
yeah, right.
Don't sue me, IONet. But
yeah.
But yeah, so you get people from all walks of life. Like you get some people that just think they're hard, and then they come in, get humbled, they want to continue.
Yep.
Some people leave if they're like that. Some people because they're getting bullied. Some people because they want to compete.
Yeah.
Some people because they just want an outlet. You get all kinds of walks of life. You get some people that obviously we help if obviously have come from a similar background. I can obviously relate fairly well and understand. But you get all kinds of different walks of life, and that's also what I love about coaching. Awesome. You experience it all, and you really get to know a lot of people and their different backgrounds and what they've been through. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, awesome. So your gym sort of creates a safe space for them to be, exploring that sort of strategy and that sort of fighting style. Do you find that you're also teaching them about life as well?
I find like there's two things. One, I don't like the term safe space just because I feel like it's been hijacked by like a bunch of pussies. But
right, okay, yeah,
like only because like life legitimately is about struggle. Like, and it's one of those things, right? And that's what I think combat sports really brings out of you.
Sure.
I think it brings out that inner toughness for like men and women. I think it brings out that inner toughness where it puts life into perspective, where all of a sudden if you've had a bad day at work, I don't need to go home, have a cry about it and put it on TikTok for social media likes. Like I can actually just get over it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it actually removes narcissism because you really you understand your surroundings. All of a sudden you don't feel like the main character. You're there and you want to help everyone. Like I feel like fighting is a very beautiful thing, but you can definitely express yourself and be who you actually are.
Yeah.
In that regards, it would be, I suppose, for the term safe space, it would be.
Or we could say family or,
well, it's one of those things where
or...
you're not going to be judged.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, if you're weird, be weird. I don't care.
Yeah.
And people will respond to that accordingly. Like, not everyone's going to like everyone, but a lot of people will. And people like authenticity, I find. Like,
100%.
if you have to fake to be someone you're not, then it's just one of those things where you're going to get that in return, because they will. They'll find out. They'll be like, oh, this guy's fake. Or they'll be like, oh, this chick's fake, rather than just be authentically you and don't be afraid to be that. And I feel like fighting really creates that community and really brings people close. And it's honesty. Like, if someone can beat you up, cool, they can beat you up, sick.
Yeah.
You'll hug about it after and you'll get better, and iron sharpens iron.
100%.
And people want to bring each other up. I have no one at my gym that's a mat bully, which is someone that will just beat you up to be like, yeah, take that. And because those people get snuffed out really fast. So what happens is if I see a guy that I've been training for a bit and he's just bashing beginners, I'd be like, cool, I'll just put him against some of my advanced guys, and then there you go. And he won't be doing that anymore.
Just do it yourself. You just be like, you know what?
I do take a hands-on approach with things, but
that's one way to put it.
It's one of those things. See, I did run for politics. Yeah, and, but it's one of those things. So I think it really does create that sense of community, and I don't do what a great deal many places that I've seen do, which is I don't create a false hierarchical system. And I don't create a sort of disjoint between coach and student. Yeah. So things that I don't like that have happened in the martial arts community, in particular, I'm talking about more jiu-jitsu rather than the more Eastern styles, which I just think kind of suck. Yeah. No offense to them, but if you don't like it, come fight me. But
that's a call out. It's a call out everyone.
Look, if you're a karate guy or a taekwondo guy and you get offended by me saying that your style is incomplete and doesn't work just by itself, come fight me. That's cool. We'll organize an MMA fight. You can do whatever you want. And it's right. It's one of those things where, like, I don't like any false hierarchical system, and I find it comes from that more Eastern style, but then jiu-jitsu tried to adopt it, or at least some places in jiu-jitsu tried to adopt it, and I don't like it, which is you'll sit in, like, order of rank. I think that's ridiculous.
It's almost, show.
Well, it's like, if you earn that belt, cool, but a lot of people these days don't earn their belts.
Yeah, correct.
Well, they don't earn their belts. They just pay their membership, and then the coach wants to keep them, stringing them along, so he keeps giving them bits of tape on their belt until he gives them a new one, and they're like, their guys suck.
They're not actually improving.
No, they're not. And the issue is now it's one of those things where now they'll feel like, I'll give you a direct example. This is a lived-in experience, and I won't name the place. You'll have things. I have some decorum about me, but you'll have, like, places where, argument's sake, say you wear a blue belt, and then you submit every single purple belt they have. They'll still be like, you have to call me sir, and then they'll sit above you and they'll do these things, and you're like, why? Fighting is about skill, and skill should get rewarded, not. You've been here longer than me, you've paid more memberships, and now you have a better belt. At the end of the day,
if I can beat you,
skills matter.
Yeah.
So why create this false hierarchical system where now they're viewed as above you when they're clearly not in terms of skill, because you can beat them? Yeah. So it's one of those things that I don't have in my gym. So I don't give monologues before I start training people. I don't make people sit in order of rank. That is utterly ridiculous to me, because at the end of the day, a competition purple belt will absolutely smash a casual black belt. Not that I think there should be even casual black belts, to be perfectly honest. I just don't think a BJJ black belt is for everyone, and I think that would keep the style more authentic if people kept it that way. Yeah. But it's one of those things of that's the case. So why
is that more of a they earn their place and they have to keep it?
No, it's more of a thing of, like, say, argument's sake, say if you get a black belt when you're, like, fairly old now, if you can't perform the moves correctly,
you don't get it.
You don't get it. Like, this is how I look at it, right? And this is how I look at fighting in general and martial arts as a whole. If you're trying to be a lawyer, you have to pass the bar, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter how many times you sit the bar. Yeah. If you can't pass it, you don't become a lawyer. Yeah. So you could do that for 12 years, still not pass it, but you don't get you're still not a lawyer.
Sure.
Same as like being a doctor. You can't fail your PhD repeatedly, but be like, I've been doing this for 10 years. Give me my PhD.
Yeah.
I look at fighting in the same way. It's just fighting doesn't get rewarded as such because it's viewed as a extracurricular, not viewed as like something, unless you are a fighter, that you're going to make a career out of.
Yeah.
But I think martial arts should keep that integrity of being like, if you can't get to the standard, you don't get the rank, but people don't want to enforce that because then they'll make less money.
Right. So what you're saying is if someone's doing it just for the fun of it, they're on the side, it's a hobby. It's something that they do after work, that they shouldn't or won't be able to achieve black belt?
No. That's not what I'm saying at all, because you could still do it for a hobby and still be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I believe there should be a standard.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be, you've just paid membership for 10 years and here's your black belt.
Yeah.
And like if you ever got on the mat with someone, you would get your ass kicked. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's like what you see these days. Again, no offense to them, since like I'm throwing a lot of shade to them, but like karate black belts or whatnot.
Yeah.
There'll be someone, they'll get a black belt in 3 years. They'll be in a real life fight and they'll get the shit kicked out of them. That's horrific. Like back in the day, a BJJ blue belt used to be feared. Like someone was a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, you were like, oh my God, this guy's probably going to kill me.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if they're like a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, you're like, what are you going to do? Flop on your ass and scrape your ass like a dog with worms on the ground at me?
Right.
Like, it's not even scary anymore. And you have to actually ask, who'd you get your belt under? Because depending on who you got your belt under, that can determine whether or not you're good or bad.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy to me. So I think if you're casually training, of course you can achieve anything. You don't have to compete to get these things.
Yeah.
But there should be a standard where even if you casually train, you should be good enough to do said things.
Yeah.
Then argument's sake, like time takes over everything. If you got your black belt when you're like in your 30s, but now you're in your 60s and you're like, oh, I can't move the same way I can. Of course. That's completely fine.
Yeah.
But if you're, say, 50 and you're like, and you can't actually do certain moves, then
and you haven't got there.
Yeah, and you haven't got there, then that's what it is.
There.
You might be stuck in a purple belt. That's fine. Be happy with your achievement.
Yeah, it's like people that are convinced that they're my age, they're 25, they could play footy if they just tried. And no, you can't move the same rate as these other guys. You're not going to get drafted.
Absolutely.
Sorry. But there's always the excuse of, I've got a bung knee or, something like that. But I definitely could have played AFL, 100%.
Well, it's very easy to make excuses at things at the end of the day. People
100%.
don't want to look at themselves and give a very honest self-assessment.
Yeah.
It's much easier to obviously make any excuse on the book. Oh, look, I would have done that, but I happened to have a hangnail that day.
Yeah, correct.
Hangnails really affect me, I didn't have my nail file on me. And look, it was a grim day. Otherwise, I'd be in the AFL.
So was that your excuse last time you lost your fight?
Yeah. Look, I look at it like this. I've never been knocked out. I just have narcolepsy.
Yeah.
I just take naps at odd times.
So what is your fight record?
In MMA, in jiu-jitsu, because I've had a lot of jiu-jitsu matches.
Give me all
and
of the
stuff,
above.
Oh, bro, I'll give you everything.
Yeah.
We'll slap the whole shebang out. So I've been fighting for a long time.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll start from where I began. In jiu-jitsu, I've had 323 matches.
Yeah.
All up. So I've won 317 of them. I've lost 6.
Proud.
As a pro in jiu-jitsu, I've had 13 pro matches. I'm 12-1.
Yeah.
In combat jiu-jitsu, I am 2-1 because I lost my last match via split decision.
Yeah.
I just really always on the bad end of split decisions.
That's
I don't even know why they even bother announcing it. And
the split decisions.
I've won like one ever. They're not my big.
They should just be like, nah, do over. Go again.
Just grim.
Yeah, not fun.
And in kickboxing, I'm 1-0.
Yeah.
I had exactly one kickboxing fight that I took on a week's notice against a guy who was 6-0.
Yeah, right.
And I won that. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, it was not a very good fight.
Yeah,
It was
right.
Me wrestling the guy for all of the first round in a kickboxing fight.
Yeah.
And then my coach sitting there telling me, so you probably lost that round because you need to throw a punch and you threw 9 of them. So it's like, let's actually go out and hit the guy.
Yeah.
And then I proceeded to do that because he was so scared to kick me, because every time he did, I would like pick him up and slam him. So that worked out well. So then I won via pure brute force.
Yeah.
Technically, at the time, I'd say that guy was better than me, but it's all about game planning. Game planning is very important.
You just terrified him in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose when a guy keeps picking you up and slamming you and then smiling at you afterwards, it probably...
That's the thing, smiling assassin.
I
You do
really
look very friendly.
like what I do.
Yeah.
So it's just like I smile.
You can't help it.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
And then in MMA, as an amateur, I went 3-0.
Yep.
Winning all by submission.
Yep.
And then as a pro, I'm 5-5. That doesn't look as good as what it should, and that's simply because I took some pretty stupid fights when I was younger, and then had some injuries and other stuff that took over. But if you discount, I would honestly give, with like a real life reflection, I shouldn't have taken the Josh Riley fight because I'd just been in a car accident,
Right.
and had a very bad concussion, had to lie to the doctor to be able to get through that, and that was with pressure put on me from that fight promoter at the time, and management and whatnot. It wasn't a very good place. Plus, I needed money at the time. It was fairly dark time, so I shouldn't have taken that fight because I just wasn't healthy. I also took that on a week's notice, and my opponent missed weight. So it was just every factor of wrong.
Yeah.
The Muhammad Abdu fight, I actually totally won that. I got screwed pretty bad in that one.
Why? What happened?
Oh, it's just like an actual like robbery. So it wasn't a good fight. It was
Split decision?
And it was just horrific to watch. But I totally actually won that fight.
Yeah, right. Rematch on the cards?
No, he's dead now.
Okay.
Yeah, he got squished by a crate in a workplace accident. So that sucks.
Out.
Yeah, R.I.P. to him. Nice dude. And it wasn't nice for a while, but we end up liking each other at the end.
Yeah,
because he I went to like show him respect, and he like cheap shots me and front kicks me.
Yeah, right.
The third round when I went to be like, we've had a good fight, like let's touch gloves, and he like front kicks me. So I didn't like him for a while, but then we squashed the beef after.
Yeah.
All right, dude. But yeah, unfortunately that sucks. And then
so where would you rank yourself then on your pro?
If I actually didn't take, so I would take out the Riley fight because I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Muhammad Abdul should have won. Mitch Martin, I was just mentally not there for that fight. I deal with so much horrific stuff in my personal life. That was my most exciting fight ever. That was for the Eternal title.
Yeah.
And I lost that fight. I just didn't want to fight. I didn't want to be there. So I gassed out. So I beat him up for 2 rounds. And then the third round, I was so physically exhausted, I couldn't even continue fighting. So then he ends up, we have a scramble. He gets on top and he just repeatedly punches me in the head while I'm covering up, waiting to be like, the time should end soon.
Yeah.
And the referee stopped it. So rightfully so. I should have been moving.
Yeah.
So I was just really tired. I actually wasn't hurt at all, but that's on me. So that one can stay. I probably should have taken that fight later, as in like when I was mentally there, but that happens. Jack Jenkins, Better Man, just won. He did. Better Man won.
Yeah.
And with Michael Manu, I broke my rib at the end of the first round. So I shot a single leg.
Yeah.
Started second round. I shoot a single leg and I break my own rib because I had a fractured rib going into that fight because I hurt it 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So if you discount some of those, then I'd be like 8-2.
Yeah, right.
Because Mitch Martin, rightfully so. I mean, that was silly for me to take that fight, but he was outstanding. Jack Jenkins, Better Man won.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, right. So when's your next fight?
June 20th.
Okay.
And then in all my wins are a finish, which I have 100% finish rate, and 4 by submission and 1 by TKO because I wanted one of those.
Yeah, right.
So that was nice.
Yeah,
that
cool.
Was nice.
So you've never won on a split decision or a decision or?
Not in MMA, and I always get kind of wrong end of those.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right.
Time it goes to the decision is usually split, and it's never in my favor.
Is that because you have a particularly ugly fighting style, or what do you think the reason is?
I don't know. Probably because I gas.
Yeah, right.
Nowadays I don't, but I used to.
Yeah,
I used to just be terrible with cardio. Now I'm actually smart.
Yeah, right.
But it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. I also came up in fighting where you remember. So when I moved to, at the time, Elite Training Center, which now I have my own gym, Adept, with two business partners. So I have my business partners, my coach Rich Paul, and my other business partner, one of my main training partners, Ryan Mills, who's also an outstanding fighter in of his own right.
Yeah.
When we left and started Adept, right before that, when I moved from where I was to Elite Training Center, I got vastly better. Yeah. Because I wasn't at a casual jiu-jitsu place where no one wanted to train hard. We were solely training in the gi, which in my opinions is absolutely useless in like an actual MMA fight or real life fight. Gi jiu-jitsu is just pointless. Unless you're doing gi jiu-jitsu for gi jiu-jitsu. Yep. It sucks. And
that's the
kimono.
Yeah.
Just because there's never a time a no-gi variant of a move would be better. I would be not superior to a gi version. Like there's not a single gi strangle you can do where the no-gi version isn't better in real life. Yeah. And if someone tries to, in good faith, say, oh, you can strangle a guy with a t-shirt, no, you fucking can't. Like, what material's that t-shirt made out of? And even if you did one, it will most likely rip. Yeah. And two, are you saying that's more efficient than just rear-nakeding the guy or guillotining him? Yeah. No, you can't ever make that comparison. It's a ridiculous comparison they try and make, and it's just fully just cope. Yeah, but you see why I can be a divisive figure.
Yeah, of course. You're not afraid to throw things out there.
No. I just be honest.
Yeah,
I say the things that people are scared to say.
Yeah,
but I got vastly better when I did, and then I learned how to wake up properly. I actually had a training camp. So you got to remember, for a bunch of my fights, before I moved to Elite, I didn't have a training camp. I used to watch the UFC countdown shows to try and have an idea of what I was doing. This is real life.
Yeah, right.
Imagine you're about to fight in a cage, and the only support you get is the guy going to you, you're my purple belt. You'll be fine. Like, you want to feel supported. He did. Like, my original coach never came to any of my fights.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't help me with these things. I was like, hey, can we work on this? Unless I paid him for a PT. Otherwise, if I'd say to him, hey, can we work on this in class? He told me he won't have his classes dictated to by anyone. So I was like, oh, yeah. It's not like I'm getting ready to fight or anything.
Represent the
but there's a reason why. So at the end of the day, you can see the difference between a coach who creates talent and someone who doesn't. And and what I mean by that is someone who creates talent will push competition. They will push their guys to compete because you know that your guys are going to do well and win. So you want to enforce competition. And then that enforces to them too that what they're learning is very good.
Yeah.
If you go to a place and they don't encourage competition, they're probably a McDojo.
Yeah.
I kid you not, because they know that their stuff doesn't work, so they don't want it to be proven against other people because then their guys will lose.
Of course.
So it's one of those things, right? So my record would be much prettier if I had been a lot smarter with my fights and at the times taking them and all kinds of different kinds of different factors. But other than that, I still did pretty well for considering the things that I came up with. And now, modern day, I don't really lose.
Yeah.
So the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
So and the reason is because I have an excellent coaching team behind me. I've excellent training partners.
Yeah.
I have outstanding people, and I'm smart. I know what to do. So I know that I need to be lifting weights. I know that I need to be running and doing my cardio. I have experts in every field helping me and that have taught me, so then I can pass on that knowledge as well. So it's the difference from when I was a child, and I don't know if you ever saw me when I was young, like any photos or anything. I was like a skinny little rake with biceps. I always had really big biceps for some reason, but other than that, it's just like skinny little rake. And then now obviously I'm gone full chimp mode.
Yeah,
it's nice. I like it. But that's just the difference in understanding. So I understood 100%. Nutrition, understood lifting, understood how to actually train getting ready for stuff.
And
so
do you have a nutritionist or is it all just self-taught?
No. I have my coach, Rich.
Yeah.
So he covers my he taught me everything about weights, and then he does my diets for me still to this day.
Yep.
I have a performance coach who's he's at my gym right now. So I have 3 performance coaches at my gym.
Yep.
So one of which I see directly, which is Lockie. He handles like a lot of like AFL teams and whatnot. So he's very good in that field. Has gone over, helped NFL teams in America. So
I think I know Lockie.
Yeah. So he does really well. So he does my performance stuff. Rich will, if I ever have any questions about anything, I can go to him about everything. He's still my coach for fighting.
Yeah.
And then I have just outstanding training partners. So it just helps. Plus, I'm smart I know how much I need to train. I know what I need to do. And if I need to add more or do less, I'm very open about that, about what I do and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
And have my markers set.
Yeah, cool. So jumping back a little bit, when you're in the gym, you mentioned about creating talent and there's no artificial hierarchies. Does that mean that any of the guys that are sparring are going to be helping out a newbie and sort of teaching them, or is it still very particular roles?
No. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
So unless someone's getting ready for a fight, and then I have a very big focus on my fighters. So if you're getting ready to compete, I will have my classes dictated.
Yeah.
I will do exactly what you need to be the best while you get there. So I give them a full training camp and I'll get them fully ready for that fight.
Yeah. Because how's the fighters wall looking? Because you've got the photos of all the
I know, how good, huh?
So cool.
So many wins.
So cool. I remember that one gym tour that I did. It was so good.
I like to reward them.
Yeah.
I like to reward them.
100%. For those watching,
prep.
he's got in his gym, he's got a wall, and it's the photos of the fighters when they win, and that's like their Hall of Fame. It's how they promote their fighters and show them off, and it's on the way into the gym. So it's so cool. You've got to walk past that every time. You know that you're in the company of greatness. It's really cool. I was a huge fan of that.
Oh, look, I love it. And I just want to show them that I'm just proud.
Yeah.
I'm really, really proud of when they go and compete, and then the proof is in the pudding. That's why I have such a big wall of fighters that go there. Just one me with the belt. Yeah. I got one of those bad boys.
Yeah, nice.
2 actually. Got the whole champ thing.
Yeah, of course.
And that was nice.
Yeah.
And a bit of hardware. But
it's not all him. It's okay. Yeah.
It's not. Mine's small.
Yeah.
Like in real life. But
wow.
But it's like one of those things where, like, I will always make sure that my fighters are tended to, and then for everyone else, that doesn't mean anyone's neglected. Everyone gets looked at, and especially if you have goals of competing, we will get you to that level. And then you'll have, like, my advanced guys will jump in with beginners, because I have mixed classes, so I don't have beginners, intermediates, advanced, or anything like that. I don't think that fast tracks skill and talent. I think that holds it back.
Yeah.
I think you should have your beginners in with your advanced guys because they can help them. They don't learn bad habits that way, and I think it just makes everyone vastly better. So that whole thing there, so my advanced guys will help my beginners and already get them out of those sort of beginner stages where everyone's like tense and worried and everything. All of a sudden they get more comfortable vastly faster, and it just fast tracks their progression.
Yeah. And I'll tell a story on that front. I remember I brought you a guy and his mum because he was looking for a community to be a part of. He was interested in the sport and that sort of stuff. And so I said, well, I'll just message Jason and be like, hey, can this guy come check out your gym? Because I know you do it. I'm not super into it. Like, I'll watch it, but I don't obviously do anything. And immediately we walked in and you just started talking to me and his mum, and we were just having this great conversation around how you do things. And he just jumped straight into a class, and your guys were helping him out and being really supportive. Is he still with you? Is he still?
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. I'm so glad that happened. But yeah, it was just seemed like a super supportive environment, which credit to you. That's awesome.
Appreciate that, brother, a lot. Like that's what I've always wanted to create. And that's why I'm very big on that whole don't have a false hierarchical system, because otherwise it creates egos. My gym has no ego. And everyone wants to help everyone, because at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron. So even if you want to help someone for a selfish reason, you want better training partners. You're going to help them.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise you'll be like, I just want to help them. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll just help them because you're like, I want these guys to get good. Everyone wants what's best for everyone.
Awesome.
That's why, like, when one of my guys goes to fight, my whole gym comes.
Yeah.
Like, one dude will go for an amateur fight. Amateur. So you're not getting paid, vastly less eyes, and there'll be like 65 dudes from Adept rocking up.
That can make a difference. That can make a difference.
That whole thing, it shows you're supported,
Yeah.
shows the love, and all of a sudden you're like, I've got to win now.
Yeah, correct.
They're all here.
And it's
Better
like
do it.
the Melbourne Pavilion, when you've got a big crowd of people that are all yelling your name, it's like you could really hear them. So,
Oh, it's the greatest feeling in the entire world.
Yeah,
I
100%.
love
Feeling
fighting in the
support.
pavilion.
Yeah.
I love big crowds too. I love it. That's why I fight still.
yeah.
Well, that and it helps promote my gym
Showman.
pretty well.
Yeah,
I
of course.
promote my gym pretty well. Plus, I like talking on a microphone, and I feel like I'm good at fuck all else other than bashing people. So
Yeah, no.
it really helps.
Yeah.
really helps.
Well, you've got your life worked out, bro.
Yeah,
It's
see,
perfect.
I told you.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things. I feel like I'm smart at what I'm smart at, and everything else I'm like,
Yeah, it doesn't need
Yeah.
to be. You're not bothered by it. because it's
drool on myself or something. I don't know.
correct. It's not part of your life, so you don't need to worry about
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
But like, I feel like with like fighting, I like being in the spotlight. I like talking on a microphone. So now I have to win.
Yeah.
I get to talk on a microphone.
Yeah, because you talked a lot of smack, and now we've got to back it up.
Yeah. And then now, well, my next fight's on 7 Plus on Channel 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I know, right?
That's exciting.
Really moving up in the world.
Far out. I'm
Been on Fox Sport.
Yeah.
Been on UFC Fight Pass. Now on this.
And where is it? Is it
Melbourne Pavilion.
at the pavilion?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Love Pavilion.
You'll
So
have
good.
to,
Fusion.
You'll have to give me the ticket links.
Yeah,
But-
bro. Absolutely.
100% will.
Yeah, watch me give a guy borderline brain damage. It's going to be so fun.
I love how brutal you are. It's like, yes, that can happen. That's not the goal, but or is this guy, or is it the goal with this guy? He's looking at the camera.
Look, it's one of those things where it's very fun to say.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, fighting is a brutal sport, but like,
So who's your opponent this time?
Jesse Medina. So
Okay.
he's amazing. I really like him. Great
Yeah,
dude. I
yeah.
cannot wait to smash his face in. He's such a good guy. Like, so much respect for him, bro.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that you'd be like, I'll go have a coffee with this dude.
Really?
Such a good dude. Owns Mildura Martial Arts.
Yeah.
Great gym. Look at that. Now he gets a random plug.
There.
How good's that?
Awesome.
If he listens to this, he'll be like, what a lovely dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it turns out he wants to smash my face in, but I mean, what a great guy.
I mean, but I want to smash his face in too.
yeah,
So I'm saying-
well, I'd hope.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's the goal of the.
otherwise
Yeah.
it'd be weird.
So get into the ring. Actually, I just want to hug.
Yeah, actually, do you just want to talk? What's been going on with your life?
Everyone's like, kill him. And you're just like,
Everyone's like, that's not productive here. We want to help people. This is about feelings. You see this cage? This is a metaphorical thing for how we feel trapped.
you've been prepping that monologue for a while, haven't you?
No, straight off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
right. That's
So good at like improv.
yeah, nice. Did you do anything to do with theatre or?
Absolutely. I performed at GPAC.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, bro.
What was the performance like?
It was, bro, man, it was so fun. So this was when I was younger. So my mum always wanted me to get into acting.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's what she actually
Well, it's
wanted
probably
me to
better
be.
than getting the crap kicked out of you.
Yeah, well, that's what she thinks. But I don't know. I feel like I'm just fairly good at like bashing people. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those things where like,
So what was the play?
so it was, geez, what was the name of it? It was a play where I played this drunk adolescent who lost all his friends because he got sucked into alcoholism. And then it was his redemption arc of how he got back and smashed it. So that was awesome.
I thought you were going to say something like Joseph in his Technicolor Dreamcoat, honestly.
No,
Like,
no.
Totally.
Yeah, it's really
It's
dark.
really heavy.
Really, really dark, which I wasn't a giant fan of doing dark things because I like making people laugh.
Yeah.
I like entertaining. I like sort of jovial things. I
Sure.
don't really like morbid sort of shit, but it's what I had to do. And that was really, really fun.
right.
So I loved that. The drama and PE were the only two subjects in school that I used to get A's in, and that was the lowest grade I ever got. I used to get A pluses, which made me feel good.
Yeah.
And then otherwise I was like a C plus student.
Yeah.
Until I had this English teacher that actually taught me good English.
Well, it's just about finding a teacher that understands how you learn.
That, and she made me feel bad. So,
right.
Yeah, she fucking rocks.
Yeah.
Her name was Linda Ellis.
Yeah, right.
And she made me feel really bad one time because I used to wag a fair bit.
Yeah.
And I wagged her class, but I used to tell the teachers when I'd wag. Because
Yeah.
I used to be like, oh, the worst thing is we don't know where you are. So I'd tell you,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to go down to Warm Ponds and get fish and chips. Well, no, you're going to come to maths. Well, no, because if I come to maths, I won't be getting fish and chips. So I want fish and chips. So I'm going to go do that. And I'll be like, I'm taking these two guys with me. So just so you know, they're not going to be in. And
So polite.
I thought so. I like being upfront. It's always how I've been. I like honesty.
Yeah, right.
And, anyway, I wagged her class one time and then she made me feel really bad about it.
How'd you do that?
She went, so Jace, I saw you at school yesterday. And I was like, oh, yeah. She's like, well, you weren't in English.
Yeah, I didn't see
And I was
my
like,
class.
oh. Okay. And she goes, well, I hope you didn't wag my class. It would really hurt my feelings. And I was like, what do you mean?
What
like,
that was feeling.
Oh, what?
Guilt?
Yeah, she's like, that would really hurt my feelings if I found out you did that. And I was like, so I was like, I'm going to study the fuck out of this. I'll fucking show her. And then I was like, wait a minute. After I'm like 3/4 done, so I was like, well, now I may as well.
Now I'll finish it. Yeah, it's like,
She submitted that. She's there with a big smile. And then I was like, I'll fucking show you. I'll do the hell out of this work. Look at this. And then, and then proceeded to ask about that.
Yeah.
Turns out I was great at language analysis.
Yeah, there you go. Analysis.
Yeah. Hell of a time.
Yeah, nice, cool.
But I loved it. I really loved
reverse psychology.
Yeah, bro, she smashed it.
Yeah.
So, well done to her because she taught me so much.
That's
so
brilliant.
shout out Linda Ellis. Awesome. And
Maybe she watches my podcast.
yeah, you never know. She'll
Who
be
knows?
listening right now. She'll be like, oh, thanks, Jace.
Yeah, nice.
From 16 years ago,
Yeah, it worked.
whenever I graduated, 15 years ago, whenever it
worked.
was, 2011, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Maths.
So,
And
how many fights do you think you have left in you? Are you like at the peak yet, or are you still early in the game, or is it?
I'm like, I haven't even reached my prime yet. Not
Yeah.
till next year, but I'm not going to fight for much longer.
Yeah.
Just because at the end of the day, a coach needs to be selfless and a fighter needs to be selfish. And
Okay.
if I'm a selfish coach, I won't have a gym and I won't have a business. And if I'm a selfless fighter, I'll get bashed and I don't fight to lose.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of make that distinction. So I would rather be a coach now than a fighter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set these 2 world records. So I'm going to do lightweight and welterweight. And then I'll fight for a belt and I'll win a belt. And then I'll have 3 belts in 3 different sports, which I think will be cool.
That is
and then I might do a kickboxing and boxing fight to end up getting a title fight. And then I'll have a belt in every single major sport, like major combat sport. And that seems really cool.
Yeah.
And then done.
Yeah. Tapping out.
Yeah, I'm happy. Because then I just want to create talent. I
mean,
just want to
really
lift
good
tons
resume.
of. I just want to lift tons of weights. I want to look weirdly jacked and get sleep apnea again.
Yeah.
and to look full
mastered
gorilla
that.
mode.
Yeah, yeah.
They do. I was actually needing one when I was getting ready for my middleweight fight. I don't know if you saw how big I got. I literally actually looked like a shaved chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Like I had such bad sleep apnea sleeping,
Like
but
a gorilla.
yeah, like an actual
chimp,
gorilla.
like a gorilla.
Yeah, like I got a hairy back too, so it's just full silverback, you know. So it's just
Scroll back in his Instagram if you want to see it.
yeah. Those of you like, I had. Speaking of that, there's a funny story. Completely out of left field. I have had 2 weirdos like DM me about feet pics.
No, I didn't know that.
Well, imagine if you did, you'd be one of the guys.
Yes,
but
yeah, and you didn't send them through to me, man.
yeah, I know, right? What is wrong with the world now? Where like, why are people into feet?
I don't
all
know.
of a sudden, has that always been a thing, and we've never known until recently? Or like,
idea.
maybe really think about it the other day because I was like, that's fucking weird. That was really weird. And then I had to think about it for a second. I was like, do I just do that? It's going to send me like $300 too. And I was like, do I just do that? Then I was like, no, then I'm just, I don't even know if that counts as porn. It's just freaky.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, I didn't do that.
I don't
But
know.
now I'll just get it for free off my fights.
Yeah, so I always ask where people can, connect with you. Obviously, Instagram, OnlyFans for your feet pics. You're on the
Finder.
Yeah.
Feet Finder, whatever it's called, something like that.
Trying to make an Argonaut pun with feet. There's got to be something there.
Arga feet. Feet.
Sure,
not.
go for the obvious one.
I'm always for low hanging
cool.
fruit.
Yeah.
I'm not very tall, so it's hard
Yeah.
to reach.
So how tall are you?
Me, 5'7".
Yeah, and what's your reach? Do you know what your wingspan is?
No, but I've kind of long arms.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, again.
Because
Like,
I've watched your fights.
Yeah.
You don't seem to have an issue with reach.
no. I also have really, really long legs. So I was actually meant to be really tall.
Yeah.
Like
Just
when I was
happened.
growing up. No, my brother broke my neck when I was a child.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, so that stunted my growth because it shattered my vertebrae here is fused.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it gave me a slight scoliosis, so my spine sits like that now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it broke my neck when I was a child. We were playing and like play fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
And my brother has like all kinds of different mental health issues. Not that that's an excuse, but he's just not a very sane nor normal man.
Yeah.
So while we're playing, I think I accidentally hit him in the face or something, and then he went into full rage mode.
Yeah.
And then as I like jumped, he shoved me, and I went down head first and cracked all my neck. So they reckon that fairly stunted my growth. That's why I have like exceedingly long legs. Like,
Yeah.
if you actually see, my hips are here.
Yeah.
I have really long legs.
Yeah.
Which that's why I can triangle like heavyweights and
Yeah.
stuff without any issue.
Yeah.
And I have fairly long arms, but I have a very short torso, so that's why.
There you go.
So I was meant to be actually like 6 foot.
Yeah.
Or like 6'1".
Yeah. Yeah, right.
But yeah.
Could have been going into the really high weight classes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know how much nicer that would be. Like, no offense to
think it's
heavyweights, the skill is not the same. Like, it's not. Like,
Yeah.
it's just they're giant men, and they just
hit each other
literally
real hard.
launch power at each other, like
Yeah.
full brain damage mode.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, actually has to fight technically.
But it's like it's cool to watch because obviously you've got the really technical fights that are, enjoyable from a strategy perspective, but then you just got two giant mountains that are just absolutely wailing on each other. There's also something that's kind of cool to that, I guess.
Yeah, it's like if you watch a car crash, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool, but like, man, that seems fun to be in. That's how I view heavyweight.
Crashing repeatedly
Yeah.
to each other.
That's how I view heavyweight. It just looks like a car crash to me, where I'm like, that's cool to watch, but I wouldn't want to be in it.
No.
Like, getting hit by one of those giant dudes seems like it'd suck.
It would,
but
yeah,
like,
it seems like it would really hurt.
yeah.
It's almost, yeah.
But they're only good for a round. Like, unless you're
And then they
talking
get tired.
about like my boy Cam Dempsey, who has
Yeah.
better cardio than me somehow.
How big
like, he 6'2", and he walks around like 120 kegs.
Yeah, far out.
But great cardio for some
Yeah,
reathen. Yeah,
there you
I don't understand. The man's got
really,
cardio.
really good heart or something.
Yeah, it should be the size of a horse.
Yeah.
But and then, you got like, outside of that, heavyweights, like, they have one round in them.
Far
And then after round one, the rest of the fight is boring because they're like half dead.
Yeah.
Like needing an oxygen mask or
Yeah.
something. Whereas,
You're
I don't
right.
know, I wouldn't actually mind being in like a higher weight division because, like, I feel like the skill drops
go
off
the
after
distance.
middleweight.
Yeah. So as long as you can survive the first round.
No, I'm an amazing first round fighter. I don't
Yeah.
want it to go past there. Like,
Okay.
like everything in my life, I'm good for a minute and then we're done.
We don't need to go into that.
So, bro, when you look at it, I have 4 first round finishes and 3 are in the first minute of the first
There you
round.
go.
Like, I'm a really fast starter.
And are those finishes, like, are they submissions?
I
or?
take people down
Yep.
and
once
then
on the
I
ground,
just
that's it.
brutalize you because I'm just vastly better than 99% of this country when it comes
Yeah.
to grappling.
Yeah.
And it just shows. Like,
Yeah.
it's evidently so. That's why people try not to grapple with me.
Yeah.
And so 2 by submission, and then 1 was a TKO in my last fight because I really wanted one of those.
Yeah. So what is a TKO again?
A technical knockout. So
Yeah.
I just got on top of him and ground and pounded his face till the referee told me to stop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that was
Okay.
pretty cool.
Right.
It's nice. It was a nice feeling.
Yeah.
It's you know what? It's so weird to say, and I've actually never spoken about this particular part on any podcast or anything. So you
Yeah,
get an
become an
exclusive one. Yeah, I like to give anytime I do like any
Little
sort of podcasts.
Yep.
I like to sort of give a new sort of thing on there, so then people are like, "Oh shit, I need to listen to that." Like, you never know when it's going to drop into, so you got to listen to the whole thing.
100%.
It's really hard to say, like, to actual people, especially in like a live format.
Yeah.
In the term that it makes you sound like a psychopath, despite the fact I'm not. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you have to be in fighting. You have to be really, really comfortable with hurting someone,
Yeah.
and most people aren't,
Mm.
and that is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Probably makes you more normal.
Yeah.
But as a fighter, you have to be okay with hurting someone.
Yeah.
You really do. And that's the mindset you have to get in before you fight. It's incredibly important. So in my last fight, and the guy, I quite like him now. His name's Michael McDaniels. Absolutely gentleman of a man.
Yeah.
Used to play in the NBA too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, really good at basketball. Very tall.
Yeah.
He was 6'4". He's a gigantic human being. So one of the biggest men that I've actually when I shook his hand, my hand disappeared into him, and I've enormous hands.
Yeah.
So that was shocking to me.
Yeah.
So fairly,
You're going to reach up here, like you were.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
well, we had an exchange, one exchange on the feet before I took him down, because I took him down in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like actually 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I threw an overhand right and I punched him in the chest.
Yeah, right.
Because he's a skyscraper of a man, right? Enormous human being.
Almost seems unfair. Just you can't go for the face when you can't reach it.
Oh, such a big dude.
Yeah.
But when I took him down, right? And again, I quite like the guy. I would have coffee with him. Really lovely dude.
Yeah.
When I punched him in the face, he made like a very audible sound. And that filled me like with joy, knowing that now I can beat this guy very clearly.
Yeah, I can actually hurt this.
So every time I hit him, he was like, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I'm breaking this guy down.
I was like, I'm destroying him. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to knock him out.
Yeah.
And so
Making it
every
better.
time I hit him, I was like, oh, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So then into the finish.
Yeah.
So also note to self, so if any fighters are listening to this, don't make verbal sounds when someone hits you, because that's what actually goes through a regular fighter's head.
Yeah.
If they hit you and you're like, they know they're hurting you. They're
Yeah.
going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's the
We found the weak
nature of
spot,
the
just
job.
keep going, yeah.
That's the nature of the job. So it's hard to talk about that, because it makes you sound like a psychopath when you're like, I got so much joy out of punching this guy in the face.
Yeah, but you were in the hunt.
you're
going for the knockout.
doing it. That's the whole
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
So it's
You were
one of
achieving
those
it.
things.
It's like kicking a goal in footy. It's the same.
Exactly. And even in footy, there's so many fights
Yeah.
where guys are just cheap shotting dudes and not doing it in the correct way.
Right. There are so many people in my family that are like, oh, I hate it when they fight. I'm like, no, rip into them. I love it.
Best part.
It's so good.
It's the best part. It's much better than
Shows
them
a bit of-
kicking the ball.
Shows a bit of spunk. It's like, all right, cool. They're backing in their guys. They're doing it. And yeah, they're going to get a fine. But they don't care.
No.
They're going to do it.
Well, that's why fighting is just integral in people.
Yeah.
That's why fighting is very natural. Like you look at any sort of actual contact sport,
Yeah.
fights break out non-stop.
Of course.
So that's why fighting is just an integral part of, I think, being a human being, which is why I think every single person should know how to fight. I think it would make the world a much safer place.
Yep.
And I think it would, I think a lot of mental health issues that people suffer would go away with that kind of training. I kid you not.
Why do you think that?
Because when you look at it, you look at the main things that are ailing people right now. You got like depression, anxiety, like a lot of social sort of issues.
Yeah.
So what does fighting bring in? A community. So the social aspect is now covered. You've got a beautiful community around you, especially if you go to the right place.
Yeah.
Anxiety goes when you know you can protect yourself, and when you know you're comfortable now in your own skin.
Yeah.
It gives you a sense of identity. So a lot of people struggle. Why do so many people now flock to identity groups all the time? Because they want to
They
belong.
don't have one. They want to belong to something bigger than themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, that's why you get these people that will stand their ground on issues that make no logical sense, but because their side has said it, they have to agree.
Yeah. It's that tribal mind.
Exactly. Rather than, because no one wants to be an individual because they're scared of being an individual and they
Yeah.
all want to belong. They don't want to upset anyone.
Yeah.
Fighting gives you your own identity. You now can be who you want to be. And like, for example, like I'm a fucking bit of a quirky guy. You like listen to half the things I say. I say because I like to entertain. I enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And I'm unapologetically me. I'm just very real.
Correct.
So I say things that I think about. Like I've probably offended a great deal of people in the martial arts community.
All
like
the karate guys.
jiu-jitsu guys,
Yeah.
karate guys, taekwondo guys.
Yeah.
All those people, they're all going to be upset. I don't care. That's the truth. That's how I feel. Like
Fight me.
If that upsets you, learn a better style. But like,
But also, fight me.
yeah, I mean, you can add that in too. I'm always down for it. I always need opponents. And had my record a little bit. You're fighting all these killers. Give me a can. And like it solves all of that. It makes you comfortable in your own skin. You won't feel these things, and you're not going to be like I find. Obviously, depression is real. Anyone who says depression isn't real is stupid. Like depression is obviously real.
Correct.
But it's the steps people which makes a big difference.
Totally.
It's much easier to feel happy when you're fulfilling your life and
living it,
not
just existing.
Exactly. And so many times, some people might not have actual depression. They might just be depressed, and then they're enforced by social media. Like, I think just TikTok is pure cancer.
Yeah.
Like, just actual brain rot.
Yeah.
And Instagram slowly becoming that way as well, where it's just constant dopamine hits, and you'll get whatever bias you want to put on. Those are the reels now with the algorithm where it shows. So if you're stuck in a rut and you're looking at sad shit, you're just going to keep showing sad shit and stuff that's going to affirm how you're feeling, because that's what people want. Yeah. They don't want to think they're weird. They want confirmation. Yes, I am a victim. You say, no one's a victim. Literally, no one is a victim. I don't care what you've had happen to you. No one is a victim. Life is a game of 5-card draw. Yeah. You can be dealt shit cards, and that can happen, and that sucks. But it's up to you to put down the cards you don't want and draw a new hand, and now you can win any game. Yeah. And that is how you need to approach life. Like, I've been burnt down so many times and risen up like a phoenix every time. Like, failure is a part of life, and that's okay. And it's okay to fail as long as you learn from your mistakes. But people are scared of those risks. And I feel fighting gives you that freedom to go, you know what? I'm not afraid anymore. Yeah. And I think that would help a lot of issues that people have. Like, I've gotten people, like one of the guys I trained, Bailey, I just gave him a blue belt, actually. I was so proud to be able to give him that. Yeah. He had such bad social anxiety. When he first came to my gym, he couldn't make eye contact with me. Now he's got a missus, he's got a blue belt, he competes, he's in good shape. Like, all these things changed for him solely because he came to a fight gym. Yep. So that's why I say, and obviously that's anecdotal, I understand, but I think if people actually study this, when you actually see the difference between going from you're in your room, you're secluded, you're in an echo chamber. Correct. Is when you go out there and you get out and you do something which fighting is uncomfortable. It can be nerve-wracking. Yeah. All of a sudden it all goes. You realize you're not made out of glass, and you go, you know what? I can handle life. Yeah. And I think that would stop a lot of things that ail people to this day. Yeah. Awesome. So, okay, what's the process if somebody totally new, doesn't know anything about fighting, comes to your gym but just by chance? How do you bring them in? Obviously that'll happen a couple times. That happens a lot, actually. Yeah, there you go. Weirdly enough. What's the process? How are they onboarded? How are you welcoming them in? Just be me. Literally, I go introduce myself to them. They walk in, I see them, I say hello, have a chat to them. Yep. Free session. Have you trained before? What are you doing? I always love to give people a free session. Yeah. Come in, try it out. If it's for you, I'd love to have you. If it's not for you, that's fine. Yep. Go somewhere where it is for you. Like, I know I've openly told people my gym might not fit absolutely everyone, because again, if you are a bully, you are not going to go well in my gym. Like, you won't, because you'll be checked by people. Yeah. So there'll be people that are more athletic than you, that are amazing, or ourselves. And if you be a bully, we'll just kick your ass, and then stop being a bully. Yeah. So then, they don't really last. So, and whereas other gyms will allow that, and that's fine if they want to. I don't care. Like, that's their business. I think that's terrible, but that's their business. Yeah. And also egos go. So if you have a big ego, you're also not going to do well in my gym. And I've had people leave because of that. I've had people come in, they talk about how tough they are, all the street fights, all the stuff, and I tell them the same thing. Fuck, you must be unlikable. It's a lot of street fights. No, I'm just saying that I'm tough. Yeah. I don't think it's tough to beat up people that don't know how to fight. Like, I give this comparison to people. Would you feel tough to bash a toddler? Probably not. No. I like there was a probably in there. Could be a big toddler. Can't rule it. I don't know. They're looking at me like that's a fucking massive toddler. My brother comes out with the most insane would you rathers in the world. And it's like every time we're in the car, and they live in Queensland now, so it doesn't happen often, but when I'm up there, if we're all in the car together, he'll just be like, would you rather? And then he'll come out with like, would you rather fight, and he's gonna criticize me for not getting this right, fight 18 horse-sized toddlers or horse-sized ducks, or duck-sized horses and horse-sized ducks. Like, there's many, many duck-sized horses and only one horse-sized duck. And then he like changes it out and be like, horse-sized duck, surely. It's one. It's one. Yeah. And ducks aren't that tough. It's a duck.
I love how you've just jumped straight into, I can take a horse-sized duck any day. Any day.
Fuck that duck up. Like Peter would be coming after me because I would slap the shit out of that duck. That vegan booty chick would be protesting in front of my gym because of the things I do to that duck.
We do not condone animal violence unless it is a horse-sized duck.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, we don't like animal-sized violence, but sometimes you got to show a horse-sized duck exactly who's boss.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to give you my brother. He's just staring down the camera.
I'll see you there, any horse-sized ducks around.
Yeah, this is a
You and me.
This is a call-out directly.
We'll fight on Hex.
Yeah, right. I'm going to give you my brother's number because he'll just run them off at you and I 100% will just dive in like you've just done.
Absolutely. I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was solely just an example.
I cannot think of them, but it's like 100% you would just, horse-sized duck I can get.
Absolutely. It's like, why would you, like a lot of duck-sized horses, there's too many of them.
Yeah.
They'll like stomp on your toes and shit. And I had to
kicking,
battle with like an ingrown toenail. Like, you don't want to have to deal with that. Imagine how many you could get.
The toenail.
Yeah, like imagine how many, what's a duck going to do? Put its little flippers on you.
Yeah.
It's a duck.
But they're horse-sized flippers.
Yeah, but it's just not a very scary animal.
What are we talking about?
Duck.
How did we get onto this? Where were we? Oh my goodness.
I told you this will happen.
Yeah, this was going to happen. So what do you do outside of the fight game? What do you do outside of your gym? Is there particular, hobbies that you have? What are you passionate about?
That's a good little question.
Thanks.
I don't really. A lot of people generally don't ask. That's very lovely.
Because they're all like, "Oh my god, it's Jason the Argonaut."
Yeah.
I want your
It's that guy that like punches people.
Yeah. I want his autograph.
Yeah. I've actually had a kid. I like asked for an autograph. I felt so special.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
People get pictures actually with me sometimes in Geelong. It's cool, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like a Z grade celebrity.
Yeah. Hey, I'll get one with you when we finish up the recording.
100%.
And I'll put that on the Instagram feed.
Oh,
Be like,
done.
this is the next guest.
Done. I'll do a little flex.
Awesome.
What I do,
Awesome.
it's one of those things, front double bice for the win. Not that I'd ever do bodybuilding because it's just such a fucking terrible sport. And,
Is it a sport?
yeah, apparently.
I don't want to piss off any bodybuilders.
Oh, I couldn't care less. What are you going to do? Some of my best friends are bodybuilders.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean your sport isn't like literally the gayest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Like actually homosexual in the term that you're trying to get 3 men to find you attractive whilst you're on stage in your Speedos, heavily oiled and tanned. Like, what sport is this? Like, it's just beauty pageants for men. And I guess some overly buff chicks that sort of look like men because of how they flex. Like, I don't know. But so this women's bikini, I guess, is tolerable. But anything else, yuck. But scare me. But bro, one of my best friends is like a very good friend of mine, I should say. He's like Adam Rochester, who's friends with like Callum Von Moge, who's a very good bodybuilder.
Yeah.
My coach, Rich Poole, came 3rd in the IFBB, which is one of the biggest bodybuilding shows there is. Like my coach, Rich, he does men's physique, which is slightly straighter because you wear board shorts, but it's still like. And I tell him this, like, you're still flexing for 3 other men to find you attractive. Like, it's such a weird conundrum. Like, name that in any other point in life and tell me what that sounds like. If I said to you right now, take your shirt off and flex for 3 dudes outside for them to rate you on how good looking they think you are,
They would
tell me what that sounds like.
They'd be like, "Why aren't you flexing?"
Like, you know what I mean?
I was at a gym literally today because I've started with a PT and he's helping me out and
Outstanding.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone and done all my measurements on my arms to see how, and he goes, "Yeah, just tense your right arm. Yeah, just tense your right arm. Yeah," and I'm just like, "You're." I hate you. I am. I hate you. I am.
Oh, you got to put these guns away, bro. They're massive.
One day.
Legally, I don't know how you hid them in here.
You're so funny.
I'm just saying, there's like, I know 30 great men and you're 29 of them. You're an absolute king, sir.
I love that.
I would slap 1,000 babies to see you smile.
Yeah, that's, again, that'd probably be one of Tom's Would You Rathers, honestly.
Yeah. Would you rather slap 1,000 babies or what, like 1 baby-sized crocodile? I feel like it's not a very big
crocodile-sized
crocodile.
babies.
Yeah, crocodiles. You'd actually pick the crocodile in that thing because a little tiny crocodile doesn't seem very hard to beat.
This is a deranged conversation.
How good.
We're going to get back on track.
Yeah, we'll get back
What
on
do
track.
you do?
Hobbies.
What do you do outside
Told you this would happen. So hobbies. For fun, I lift weights.
Yeah.
I find it clears my head a lot. Play some video games, hang out with my mates and hang out with my missus.
Yeah.
I like coffee, so I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
When I go out, if I'm not going out with people, I don't drink any coffee whatsoever.
Yeah, right.
Because when I had my restaurants, I used to own 2 restaurants.
Okay, go into that, please. When?
Yeah, didn't you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Business is my background.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, before I had Adept, business is my background.
Yeah.
So I learned by owning restaurants that I fucking hate restaurants.
Yeah, right.
So that's horrific.
Where'd you? Were they local?
In Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
So I had 2 up there, and that was horrific.
Yeah.
Doing like 85-hour weeks just in general. And it was just, and I was still training and fighting at the time. It was just,
What kind of restaurant?
disgusting. Steakhouses.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so all right, but it was just terrible. It's just such a bad industry, and yeah, wasn't really a fan.
It's probably not
But,
helped by all the regulations that they have up there.
Oh, it's just horrific, and it's more like when you're dealing with like self-entitled people, because I like people,
Yeah.
so I do a lot of people jobs, but self-entitlement annoys me.
Yeah.
So argument's sake, someone has to wait. They order a well-done steak.
Yeah.
A well-done steak takes around 40 minutes to cook.
Yeah.
And then they'll complain that they've had to wait 40 minutes. Well, don't cook a well-done steak. Don't ask for it then. That's how long it takes to cook.
Yeah.
That'd be like me being angry that the instructions say heat the oven for an hour. And I'm like, why is it taking an hour?
Yeah.
What are you going to yell at the instructions? Like, it's just
It's
the
what it is.
time it
Yeah.
takes to cook. Like, it's such a ridiculous thing to get angry about, but people would.
Yeah.
Then they'd be like, everyone's brother or cousin was a chef. Just always.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, that's a lot of chefs we have in the industry if every single person has a brother or cousin that's a chef.
It's incredible.
So it's just always because, they have to appeal to authority.
Yeah, of course.
Prove their point. Well, my cousin, I have the
Does he want a job?
executive chef that was literally trained by some of the best chefs in the world, works at a Haddad restaurant. I'm pretty sure he's better than your make-believe brother.
Yeah.
Just saying. There's my appeal to authority.
My brother is an
He's
incredible
better.
cook. I will say my brother is a great cook.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He's not a chef, but he's a cook. He can throw some stuff together.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But I won't appeal to that authority.
No, because that's a better authority than I can appeal to.
Yeah, right. So
yeah.
you owned restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into that?
I started off, so my very first job, I worked at Hungry Jack's.
Yep.
That was shit. I was studying at Australian Institute of Fitness at the time too, getting my PT quals.
Yep.
At the time, after I got qualified, I realized how hard it would be to actually make it in the industry as a PT.
Yep.
For 2 reasons. One, the market is vastly oversaturated still to this day. And 2, I didn't look the part yet. So I was still a fairly skinny kid with biceps.
Yeah, right.
And I had like girly long hair and whatnot. I'm not exactly the guy you'd pick and be like, that's the guy I want to train me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and if this upsets someone, it upsets someone, you need to look the part. If you are telling someone you can get them in shape, you can get them jacked, you can get them whatever
They need
whatever
to
they're
be in
asking
shape.
for, you need to be in shape.
100%.
Like if you go to an overweight PT,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. Like I think you're stupid if you do that.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to get themselves in shape. How are they getting you in shape? How are they going to motivate you if they don't have the motivation themselves?
Totally.
And people need that. You need to feed off that energy.
Yeah.
This guy pushes, I need to push. Not, well, you overeat. Why can't I overeat then? It confirms their bias.
Of course.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? At the end of the day. So there's a job for everyone at the end of the day, but
Look the part.
you have to look the part. And if you don't look the part, you're not going to do it. So I knew that right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't look the part. How am I going to stand out? If every single man, woman, and child is a fucking PT and the course teaches you borderline nothing,
Yeah.
how do I stand out? And the answer is, I
Gotta look the
didn't.
part. Yeah.
I didn't yet. So I didn't do it. Because that's the thing that also people struggle with these days. One, accountability.
Yeah.
And 2, actually understanding the things about real life.
Sure.
I didn't look the part. I wouldn't be successful.
Yeah, it's a saying you don't trust a thin chef.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eddie there would be like, I don't trust a butcher that doesn't know how to sharpen a knife.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things.
Don't trust a fat gym owner. Don't
Yeah.
trust a thin chef.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Because this guy eating?
He clearly doesn't like his own food.
He doesn't like his own food. He's not eating it. I want my chef to be morbidly obese. I want to come in there. I want to be like, what's your cholesterol? He's like, too high. I'm like, make me whatever. It's going to be good. And I know it is.
So was your chef? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, he was.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
it's legitimately a good stereotype.
It is.
And it's if you see a fat chef, they're probably cooked really good.
Yeah.
Like 9 times out of 10, at the end of the day, they're probably good.
Correct.
Like that is true. Because
You'd
they
hope.
like their own food.
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just,
Otherwise, you're just fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. Get some cooking skills. But
So, what did the opportunity arise through your network?
I was managing. I worked at a cafe, and then I started managing the cafe.
Yeah.
And then I got moved to a restaurant, and I started managing the restaurant. Now, the owner of the restaurant was a dodgy piece of shit,
Okay.
and his business ended up going into liquidation.
Yeah.
But after that, I saw an opportunity because I was like, I basically know how to run a restaurant.
Yeah.
So I got a restaurant.
You got to go into that. Like, how does one just get a restaurant?
You go, you get a loan, you
Find a restaurant.
You go and you hire out a place, you fit it out, and then you set it up.
Yeah, right.
Hire the people that you need.
Oh, so you did it from scratch.
From scratch. So
Right.
again, everything I've done is self-built.
It wasn't
So
it wasn't a pre-existing restaurant. You started from scratch, bought the place, fitted it out.
Yep.
And it was 2 steakhouses.
Yes.
Far out.
So then ran that for a while.
Yep.
And realized how just soul-sucking it was.
Yep.
I was depressed. I hated life. How I'm not dead is actually beyond me because I would micro sleep driving back from Geelong. So I was so tired because I only used to sleep 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
And I did that for many, many, many weeks going on.
Yeah.
And so due to that, like it was bad. So I realized how unhealthy that was, how unhappy I was, and then from there we just sort of I sold that up and then training. I was a removalist for a while.
Yeah.
Did landscaping, did interior styling.
All things that would have helped with the physique.
Yeah, what's the interior styling?
Well, not
would
yeah, no.
I was mostly lugging the furniture, to be fair. The wife was the company. She was the brains behind that.
Yeah, right.
And it's just lugging stuff.
You were just arms.
Yeah, good at lugging things.
Yeah, nice.
And then end up becoming now where I'm a full-time PT and coach because I look the part
with your own gym.
and I have
Very much
exactly and I have the knowledge now behind me over years and years
and
the
the
years
record
have built up. Exactly.
Awesome.
I think so. It's been fun.
That's sick. I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a man of many weird talent.
What other weird secrets have you got?
So I did that. Really, I'm actually very, very good at video games.
Yeah.
Weirdly good.
What do you play?
Like I play like a lot of very hard games because I don't like mindlessness. Not that mindless activities are bad. I just don't like them because I'm pretty sure I got pretty wicked ADHD.
Yeah.
So
you got to be.
I need to be stimulated. So I need stimulus.
Yeah.
So I play like games like Dark Souls.
Yeah, yeah.
So all of them, I've played literally all of them.
Right.
Sekiro, just basically FromSoft makes a game, I own it, and I've like platinumed that game.
Yeah, there you go.
I fucking love those games.
Yeah.
Do a lot of PvP too.
Yeah.
A lot of builds that just annoy people for funsies.
Yeah.
Currently playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Baldur's Gate 3.
Nice.
I was never really into Dungeons and Dragons because, I always had friends, but like...
There's a few people that are listening that are just going, oh, that hurts.
It's cut them deep. Yeah. They'll make me a character and then you like campaign. I roll my D20.
It's okay. That's not
Critical miss.
Yeah.
And, their asthma got to them. But, so I've been into Baldur's Gate 3. So,
right.
Turns out like I'm actually into that.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd. And I like board games and shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like actually a little bit nerdy.
Sweet.
And outside of all the fighting stuff, I like a lot of nerdy shit.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I would live a fairly simple life. I like to chill with my missus, chill with my mates. I like to go out a lot.
Yeah.
As in like out and about is in like coffee shops and stuff. I don't drink. I haven't drank since I was 23.
Yeah.
So that's another thing people don't know about me. I just don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I'm just not into it.
Life's cool enough.
Well, I feel like I'm enough.
Yeah.
Like I'm
That's
actually
good.
like enough.
Yeah.
Like any more of me is probably intolerable. And I feel like I'm already at the borderline. So I feel like I'm smart enough to know that and self-aware enough.
Okay.
So I just don't do those things.
For everyone's benefit.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, I'm sponsored by a vodka company that is actually very good.
Yeah.
So casual plug in there. Heist Vodka, very good, cool name.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Wouldn't see that coming, would you?
I did not.
That's why it's even more funny that I'm literally sponsored by a vodka brand.
And
Where they're like, I don't drink.
Yeah, right. There you go.
I can still know what a good drink is. I just don't need to partake.
They can just sponsor you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Very helpful.
So we're coming to the end now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to do a little quick fire where you just keep your answers real short and I'll run through a bunch of questions.
Sick.
And that'll be how we finish up.
Outstanding.
But yeah, you've mentioned that you're a little bit nerdy, so they might be coloured that way. Greatest fighter of all time?
Ooh, probably John Jones.
Yep.
Both in MMA and beating his wife. Allegedly.
You have no filter.
Zero. It's fun.
Completely thrown me. Greatest movie series of all time?
Oh, that's a really good one. South Park.
South Park's a TV show. I mean, movies.
Oh, movie.
Yeah,
as in movie series, Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah.
I love Fast and Furious.
I love Fast and Furious.
So good.
So good.
Yeah.
Even though they went pretty outlandish in the last ones, I still...
But I love how, like, in 2015, the meme was, oh, yeah, they're going to end up in space eventually.
Yeah, no,
and
they
then,
did.
Spoiler alert, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Absolutely did. Yeah. It was they went from street races to fighting the military. So the progression was definitely unique.
Well, they got the budget. And it's like, you know what? How do we make this as outlandish as possible?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is I don't like how The Rock has in his contract that he can't lose a fight in like film. Has that in his contract?
In his contract?
Came out.
There you go.
So is Jason Statham.
Well, he clearly hasn't run into you yet.
Damn right. But same as Jason Statham.
Seriously?
Yeah. You know how weird that is to me? That you can't lose in a fake fight?
That's such an ego thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like,
that's...
if you paid me enough money, I'd let like a toddler like spin kick me in the face and I'd be like, oh, I'm KO'd. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Like,
Dwayne.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Jason, come on, man. We have the same name.
You're going to run for president. You got to be able to lose a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I hope he doesn't. America's like such a strange
what do you
place.
reckon? He runs as a Republican. Because a lot of those wrestling guys...
They do well as Republicans.
Yeah.
They really do.
There's
like
a few governors in there.
Yeah, like Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah.
Like Kane is my favorite WWE wrestler.
So,
I'd vote for him too. But the only thing is, I feel like The Rock isn't actually I don't feel like he's very authentic at all. Like literally at all. I think he's too Hollywood in that respect.
He's very Hollywood.
Well, it's like, for example, he doesn't have a real opinion that's his. He goes on whatever popular opinion is. He's apparently been to In-N-Out, which is a fast food restaurant in America. Apparently, he went for the first time. He's done that 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't know how you go for the first time 4 times. He talks about, for example, one of the biggest things that he tries to always walk around is he says he's never taken anabolic steroids. You cannot get the physique he has at 52 years old without anabolic steroids. Of course he eats healthy. Of course he trains hard. But he also, but you also, you have to get that
to
much muscle
maintain
mass.
it 100%.
But you have to be on gear for that. Just admit it. Who cares? You're not a fighter. You're not anything. A lot of actors take steroids.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think Tom Hardy got so big for like his roles when he did that MMA movie that was actually Warrior?
Yeah.
Took steroids. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
Like, it's whatever. No one really actually cares. But to lie and be like, I can get that physique without steroids is just a lie.
Yeah.
And who cares? Like, who actually cares? Like Chris Hemsworth. Who cares? Literally no one cares.
Yeah.
So there's that. You also get the fact that he basically repeats on whatever popular opinion there is. And if it's not popular, he walks it back. And I think
Totally.
if you do a thing, like, for example, unless I'm actually wrong about something, which I don't really speak about things unless I'm educated on them.
Yeah.
And I am, weirdly enough, as much as I make jokes, I'm a fairly educated guy.
Yeah. Looking forward to our next trivia night together.
Oh, 100%. Bro. I know so many fun factoids.
So do I.
Mash and my missus was shocked. I won us a thing. And it's so good at random facts.
Continue on the rock. Yeah.
Is you need to be able to hold a position and hold it firm.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to agree with you. That's fine. Vocal minorities are the ones spouting. The people that actually care are usually silent. It's a silent majority.
And they won't care if you do have an opinion.
Yes, correct.
If you stand by it.
Everyone has an opinion on something.
But here's the thing. I think that being the brand that he is and having the opportunities that he does, and yes, he's incredibly Hollywood, but he's got like, I don't know how many followers, but it's like a third of the country.
It's sure.
An insane number of people.
For sure.
Everyone knows who he is.
Yes.
So it's hard I guess it would be hard for him to look at, I've been doing this safe for so long. Am I going to stand for something like staunchly and not walk it back when I've got so many eyeballs on me and so many opportunities that could be taken away? And I get that. He's come from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There would be an abject fear that he could go back to it very, very quickly.
Absolutely.
If he cocks up. So I understand, kind of. I also would like him to be, true to his values.
Look, it's one of those things where I actually don't 100% know what The Rock stands for. Because, for example, he was defending Joe Rogan when that stuff came out.
Yeah.
And then walked it back immediately when he copped some backlash, only to walk it back again when he then wanted to go on the podcast.
Yeah.
And even then, when he went on the podcast, he hijacked it over, basically where it was like he was interviewing Joe so he wouldn't have to be pressed with anything, because I think Joe would ask him obviously about the steroids, and he would be like,
Joe would ask
come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
they'd ask him proper questions.
Yeah. And so I think you get that. So I don't know how he would handle being not in like the light he wants to be painted in.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but seems cool. I mean, America's already pretty crazy. So I mean,
yeah, correct. Yeah. And it, like being in the position that he's in, you'd be worried that you make the wrong step, you lose it all.
Well, how does he appeal? Like literally, which side does he go on? I mean, if you go on the Democratic side, I mean, in America, that is so crazily woke right now.
Correct.
You can't actually be woke enough.
Well,
there'll always be someone that will say something even more outlandish that then you have to appeal to. And if you go on the Republican side, it depends on how right-wing do you want to go.
Well, I mean, Arnold did the safe thing. He was a moderate Republican and he was governor of California.
Yeah.
The governator.
Yeah.
But I guess the Democrats at the moment are at 29% approval rating, which is woeful. And it's the worst that they've been in a long time.
Well, look at who they have running. They've got like Bernie Sanders and AOC. AOC's terrible.
Correct.
There's some of the things that she says. Like now they're going after Elon Musk for doing that whole like Sig Heil thing, I guess they're saying he did. And to be fair, he might have done it for attention. He might not have realized. Who knows? But AOC's also done that. But then we'll complain at the other thing because they'll do the sign. They're not actually doing it.
Yeah.
They're just moving their hand in that action.
100%.
So she's also done that. So like all of a sudden, how do you call out one thing? Like it's just too hypocritical. And I feel like that's why their approval rating is so low, because
toxic politics at the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like they're supporting things that are openly, they say they want to support women, but then support the most anti-women things there are. So, I mean, you also have that, and people are waking up and not being stupid.
I think 2028, if The Rock doesn't throw his hat in the ring, it'll be Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, because he's trying to paint himself as a moderate.
He's not, though.
He's not, because California had some of the harshest lockdowns, and obviously
far.
But he's pretending that, we need to learn. And like he's doing his podcast, and I loved listening to the podcast. I was like, actually, he sounds kind of moderate. And I was like, oh, okay, this is...
Sounds like getcha.
It's just like he's tricked me. I fell for it. I know he's doing it deliberately, but I fell for it. But yeah, anyway, that's a whole nother podcast, I think.
Absolutely. We'll definitely have to do that again.
We will have to do that again.
Yeah.
I really, really want to thank you for doing this. I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy.
I appreciate you in general.
World. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
The world's a better place because you're in it.
Thanks, man. You too. Likewise. How can people connect with you?
If people want to, I have Instagram, Jason Petropoulos. You got the Instagram of my gym, Adept MMA, Facebook, all those kind of good stuff there. Shoot me a message. I'm pretty nice.
Awesome. Yeah, he only looks intimidating.
I feel like I shaved the beard, so I feel like I look less like a Viking now. I look like a lumberjack. I was getting worried that my missus is into that. I was almost going to buy a flannel shirt and carry around an axe. Just to chop lumber as I need to.
Because of course you would. No, awesome. But no, thank you very much again for doing this. I appreciate it. And hopefully people can connect with you. The fight is on
June 20th.
Beautiful.
It will be on Fusion's stream, as well as then it will be live on 7 Plus and Channel 7 in general.
Great.
So big free to air, boy. So come watch me beat people up.
Awesome. I'll put all of those links in the description of the video when it goes live. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Appreciate your time. See you next time.
Appreciate you all.
Thanks.